Yo, so what is growing on is the beginning of March here in Florida. Going to do a little bit of a spring nursery update. I know I'm due for a farm tour update. We do still have a little chance of frost here. I think they're saying like March 12th, so haven't cut everything back. I'll probably do an update video after we cut things back. I'd like to wait until we get rain after dry season, but we'll see. But I want to show you guys what's growing on, what we're shipping out. We have been sending out a lot of lychees. I believe I have Mauritius, Hot Kep, and Brewster. Might already be one gone. Not quite sure about that. Need to double check. Lychees are super cold hardy. They're more cold hardy than a mango. And I have some mangoes that took 23 degrees here, but I've seen lychees 26, 28 degrees. I also feel like that lychee crop, longing crop here in the state of Florida has been moving further north when we're not getting enough chill hours. They do need chill hours, just like mangoes, to stimulate flowers and to make actually a really good fruit set. Last year was a lousy lychee season, and they say that was from the lack of cold in South Florida. That's what I think is kind of pushing that crop further north. So hoping the neighbors' dogs don't go off and completely ruin this thing for me. But I wanted to give you guys a little tour around the nursery, and I hear it getting crazy over there. Maybe I'll pick this back up in a minute. Hold tight. All right, got them to calm down. Just getting ready to tell you guys about the pineapples. They've got lots of 1 gallon heirloom varieties. My favorite's probably the Sugarloaf. Got the Florida Special, got the Florida Elite. I think I got 3 or 4 kind of heirloom varieties. These have all been in the nursery for a while now. They're probably getting really close to fruiting too. And you know, rather than cutting the top off a pineapple, that can take 2 to 3 years to fruit. The best way to actually do that is to separate the pups from the pineapples. So when you start getting the little side shoots, take those off of there. They fruit much quicker than a top. Something that's been very popular. And guys, we got to catch up on some maintenance here. Weeds are getting tall. Want to make some black mat in this area, keep the weeds out from in between the plants. But this Puerto Rican taro has been super popular for us. Almost like a potato-like it would make, and after a full season you can get 4, 5, 6 pounds from having this in the ground. Very popular, pretty plant in the landscape, has a really nice tropical look to it, dappled light, or it can take a little bit more sun just depending on location. I have it in the subtropic area, I've got it in the shade nursery, and I have some areas in more kind of, I guess you could say, full sun where they actually kind of seem to make actually a higher tuber production. So it does good in the shade, does good in the sun. Kind of like it in that dappled light situation in the understory. Lots of San Jose Jaboticabas, different Jaboticaba varieties in here. Obviously those are going out like hotcakes, still very popular. This is that, how do you say, Guavajo, kind of an interesting one we brought in from Argentina. Got some blackberries over here. And one of our more popular Jaboticabas, the Grimmel, which makes a giant fruit. Probably what makes this one so popular. And the dogs are gonna ruin me again. Can't win with these dogs this morning, so hopefully I got you guys a little calmness now. Got the dogs away, and we'll kind of step into the online nursery here. And we've got a lot of muscadine grapes, some different varieties that do really well down here in Florida. Probably have about 3 or 4 varieties. Most common ones are Dixie and Wilder, but this time I got my hands on some Summit variety. What else do we get here? See what we're working with. Oh, Carlos. I think there's one other variety in here, which I'm not seeing right now. All the grapes are dormant right now, time of year. Lots of mulberries, guys. World's Best, Thai Dwarf are probably some of my favorites. The 6th Street makes a really good rootstock if you want to try grafting mulberries or you have a really high pressure of root knot nematodes. These things were really rough just a couple weeks ago. They've leafed back out, looking really healthy. And typically speaking, a small plant like this, I'll show you guys, can already have little fruits on them. A couple right here. I see little flowers, little fruits throughout. So a very small tree can start fruiting at a very young age. Lots of Turk's Cap hibiscus. This is our red variety. These things are doing awesome right now. These are the variegated society garlic. Much different than the regular society garlic, where it has the green and the white variegation on the stem. Same edible purple flower. And just a really pretty looking plant. Kind of reminds me of your standard landscape plant like that Aztec grass. Everybody likes to put that in Larope out front. We really like to use society garlic, the white, the variegated. So there's some different options there as an edge plant. Mexican sunflower, A lot of this is just coming back up. We got a lot of cold this winter. This is our fertilizer plant. We chop and drop this. We put this into our centropic food forest systems, and it's also a perennial sunflower. Really good source of nutrition for animals. I heard you can even raise rabbits on this. It's a complete source of nutrition. So exciting plant, grows fast, super popular. Can't even keep them in stock. Here's our Sandhill Select elderberry. This is a great catch crop, great flowering species, great for making medicine. Pretty plant in the landscape too, especially if it's kept pruned. It does sucker a little bit. Pink Turk's cap, once again, delicious edible flowers like the red one. Lots of Barbados cherries here along the back. Our acerola cherry, that one's like the vitamin C tree we like to look at that as. Makes multiple fruits per year. Another thing that makes it really exciting. Got some more different varieties of mulberries here. Let me see what we're working with. I cannot tell by looking at the leaf. So this is that Thai dwarf. And you can see on some of these, see if I can get you one in here that has a little more fruit on it, but all of these have little baby fruits on them. This is a super, super productive fruiter. Very heavy. Almost wants to break limbs. It fruits so heavy. So if you haven't had the Thai dwarf mulberry, might not be the best tasting mulberry, but it is probably one of the most productive. I really love it. Lots of sweet almond. You can smell this one as you're coming by. Has a really nice fragrance to it. My neighbors think I spray Febreze outside. You can smell this from like the next house over. It's pretty crazy, and I'm on 10, 13 acres here, and you can smell it. So when the wind's blowing that way, and the neighbors can smell this in the yard, and it is a very, very nice fragrance, to say the least. Oh, look what we got over here on the garlic chives. I see you in there working, dude. Mr. Butterfly, which they have been all over the passion fruits. Cattleya guava, we have the red and the yellow variety. Makes a really pretty tree. Very cold hardy. Here's ones that have been in the ground now for a couple of years. And this is probably 4 or 5 years old. These guys are ready to be pruned. Typically they fruit about twice a year. And right now they're just starting to set flowers. And they'll have fruit very soon. Very pretty plant. Everybody likes to put that umbrella tree in the front yard. Typically it's a ligustrum. This can slide into the front yard. I don't care where you live. HOA. Neighbors won't know what it is. Kind of sliding that fruit tree in there, so it's kind of a cool one. Lots of natives over here on this side. This is the dwarf sweet almond. This one definitely has a smaller structure to it. Coral honeysuckle. This one's really good for fences, trellises, arbors, anything like that. Makes a really nice long flower. The hummingbirds like it. Here we go. Found some flowers for you. Pretty cool. Muley grass, beautiful purple flowers in the fall. Really nice native grass. Simpson stopper, I believe that's that showstopper variety. Some of our Fakahatchee grass, and somebody just sent me a message and asked me if this spreads some seed, and I haven't really seen it spread around here. When you get further south, actually I think it comes from Fakahatchee, Florida. That's where I've commonly seen it spread a little bit more on its own and kind of take off. Really good clumping grass, really good silica, carbon. It's another one we like in our food forest systems. This grass is super popular, guys. This is the vetiver grass. These things fill out really quick. These are only a couple weeks old. You can see these ones over here, a little more full, and this grass gets really tall. Like this is a 6-7 foot grass, but what's more impressive is the roots on this grass go like 15 feet. So it's really good for stabilization, erosion issues, anywhere like that. Where you have a slope and you're trying to, stop that erosion, stop that constant organic matter leaving. Vetiver is probably the best. I picked up some garlic from a local nursery who just planted those out, not for sale, just kind of sitting there waiting to see what they're going to do. And we've got bigger Turk's caps. We've got lots of bullvine. We've got lots of milkweed. Here's where the butterflies are probably going nuts, or caterpillars right now, should I say. Some more of our regular garlic, some different grasses we're kind of playing with, some mints, and let's see what's growing on over here. We got lots of stevia, grow your own sugar, lots of our cassava cuttings just starting to go back out. Got some special varieties there. Figs kind of just starting to leaf back out, looking better. Our Florida Cracker Rose, thanks to John Starnes for this one. This rose just crushes it down here. Probably one of the most productive roses I've seen in Florida. And let's see what's growing on over here. It has been so long since I did one of these, guys. This place has been beat up for a while. Yarrow makes a beautiful green ground cover. You can kind of see some brown in there. That is from even having the frost cloth on it. It took a little bit of damage over the winter time. It's coming back though nicely. There's a great example of the passiflora just completely decimated by the caterpillars, and we do not spray BT, so if you get an ugly looking plant, that's from the caterpillars. It's not going to kill it. It will grow back out. Propagation station, need to get in here and do some pressure washing on the building. You guys can see cranberry hibiscus, lots of edible leaf hibiscus, lots of long leaf sisu spinach, Okinawan spinach. Even got some tomatoes hiding over there. Watch out. All right, so a lot of the edible leaf hibiscuses, togan spinaches, whatever we want to call these, are coming back after the winter, filling back out nicely. And guys, these are great for like a lettuce mix. Nick put these into a hippie mix a couple months back before we had the freeze. It was super popular, something we're going to try to offer again this summer, so stay tuned on that one. That is the skinny leaf variety. There's a couple different varieties of that. Lots of fig cuttings kind of coming up over here. And the girls have been kind of going through everything, cleaning everything out, making some room here in spring. A lot of the turmerics have all just been pulled. A lot of the gingers. We do have shampoo ginger. We do have turmeric, but a lot of that stuff is still dormant right now. This is all that long leaf sisu spinach, regular sisu spinach, and then variegated jewels of opar. And this is a freak Caliandra I got my hands on. It's kind of a weird variety. Haven't had any luck propagating it. I picked this up at a nursery, hoping to kind of propagate it and eventually spread it, but have not been very successful with that one, unfortunately. Lots of cherry of the Rio Grande. My bigger trees on the farm are all flowering and fruiting right now, so this is the time of year they're going off. The Jaboticabas are going off. Could actually probably show you a couple of those over by my house that are just covered in flowers and fruit right now. Rosa Sharon really makes a nice edible flower. That's another great one. And we just have lots of different herbs in this area. Suriname cherries in this area. Vitex, another favorite for us in the landscape. Beautiful flowers almost all year long. There's a slight dormancy period with that one in the middle of the winter, but most of the year it looks great, especially when you're comparing it to a crepe myrtle. What else is growing on over here on this side? So got bananas kind of coming back from that winter. Lots of firebush, dwarf firebush, standard firebush, more of the Cattleya guavas. And this is just kind of the overflow side. I did just pick up some butterscotch sapodillas. Not sure if those are going to go online, but we have a couple available for pickup. Those are really hard to get your hands on. I'm excited. I have a bigger tree in the greenhouse that looks like it should be flowering and fruiting this year, so stay tuned. All right, you guys want to see the inside of that Jabo house? These are some bayrums pushing some new growth. Looking quite pretty. Let's go check out the Jabo house. Just noticed as I was walking over that way, it is also Suriname cherry season. The blacks are going off. This is just the standard red. They're all covered in flowers, all covered in fruit. And the real way to harvest these things, if you touch it like this and it's not coming off, it's not ready. Can really have a high level of resin in it. If you've gotten it at the wrong stage. That one did kind of just fall off of there. I didn't tug on it. I was touching it. Let's see what we're working with here. I think they're quite delicious. That was a really good one, actually. And it's kind of maybe an acquired taste. The more you eat them, the more you like them. So they do tend to grow on you. Flowering star fruits here over my shoulder. We have no lack of carambola here on the farm. Let's go see that greenhouse. Oh. Ginger, what are you doing, Rug? You're a muddy mess. What are you doing, Sandlot? I see that nub moving. I see that. Oh, you're just a big lover. You're just a big lover. Can you sit? How am I supposed to get the camera on your face if you don't sit? You just gonna sit on me? Oh, you're crazy. You want to play. All right, so big girl wants to play right now. Not the time for that. Show you guys what's growing on out here. We're getting ready to come into the Florida Loquat Festival. A lot of the loquats are actually done season-wise, but a couple of late ones are still coming on. It's going to be an unbelievable year for avocados. Mulberries are going to be really good. And let's see what's going on in this greenhouse. What is growing on? So lots of Montingia, strawberry trees. We got the yellows, we got the reds. These are all Novak Petranthas. What do we got here? Oh, black. This is a Lujan Blanca. Got a couple of different varieties of that one. Another Jaboticaba. It's another one I believe that was brought in here from Argentina. Got a grafted Grimmel. What do we got here? What do we got here? Weeping Red grafted. So that's a little bit rare, something a little different. Got some Monsteras hiding in here. Got some white Jaboticabas. Lots of scarlets, guys. Those Jaboticaba starter packs are probably some of my hottest items rolling out of here. Can't keep those in stock. We can't keep them in the right size. They move quite quick, so we're going to be putting another Jaboticaba area in. Here's all that peanut butter fruit. Here's a bunch of moringa and pigeon pea, probably just replanted for this year. You guys want to see the other greenhouse, don't you? All right, stay tuned. I'm heading that way. Heading that way, I promise. So Jabo land is going off. Mostly red hybrids over in this area. These are all the whites. And the big peanut butter fruit. All right, so these are all scarlets over here. Probably got about 10,000 little scarlets coming up. Bunch of ice cream bananas. Just starting to come back up. Cherry of the Rio Grande. I know we have a bunch of Patanga tubas in here. That is definitely not a yellow dragon fruit. That is an old tag. Let's see what the regular tag says. Sundrop Eugenia. These are a little bit different. Sometimes I forget what I buy. Those are not available yet. Kind of wait and see what they do here. More scarlets. And these guys are just gorgeous. This is probably one of my favorite Jaboticabas. I really like the yellow. I like the growth on the yellow. I like this velvety kind of feel you get on the leaves. This one is just thriving on neglect in front of my house. That's another one I need to show you guys when I get up front. Got some of those different monsteras there. The dwarf Grimmichama. Those are kind of cool and interesting. Kind of a Costa Rican ice cream bean we've been playing with a little bit here. And what is that? The Eugenia Rapanda, I believe. And lots of new stuff the girls just got in here in the last couple of days. So go see that stuff in my house. Whoa, battery swap. Little zone 1 action here outside my front door. And you guys kind of missed the show. It's my fault. A couple days ago, though, this one was just completely going off. And it's still going off, but it's just not as bright. The flowers have kind of dropped a little, and they're just starting to set fruit. But this Jaboticaba is a Sabra variety, probably about 11, 12 years old. And you can see just completely covered. Flowers, fruit. I've got one on the other side here that's probably closer to 20, 25 years old. I bought this from a collector. His dad planted this one from seed. Guys, look at the size of those fruits. Those are big. This one seems to make an abnormally sized Sabra. I'd say the more classic size is probably like that. And you can see this one's a little bit of a bigger marble. The Sabras are absolutely delicious. Same on the inside. The only real difference I find between the Sabra and the red is the red has a thinner skin. Some people don't like the skin on the Sabra. I think it's quite good. These things are absolutely delicious though. The Sabras, we mostly save the seeds for rootstock, so I don't actually grow a lot of these up to be trees. The problem with the reds for the rootstock is they sucker a lot, so the Sabra makes a really, really good rootstock. Excuse me while I eat another one of these. Times are tough. Walking out your door, picking Jaboticabas. This one over here is about the same age as that one over there, and this one's only started to fruit. So these Sabras really get fruiting when they want to. Something else I'll show you guys that's a little exciting. This is a white Jaboticaba. This has flowered a couple times. This is a super pissed off Sabra Jaboticaba, and I'm honestly not even sure what's going on here. There might be some worms in the pot. I need to do a soil swap out fast before I lose the tree. None of the branches are showing signs of being dead, but the leaves are really upset. Not a good sign. I'm gonna do a soil swap on that and see if it helps it out. But guys, this is really exciting. This one has not really put on a big show yet, but this is the Trunciflora, and this is its third time here fruiting. You can see the trunk. Every time it fruits, it gets more and more flowers and fruit on it. Makes a little bit of a longer leaf. I'm not sure. I don't think this one is grafted. I think I got this from Charles Novak back in the day, but much longer leaves than the typical Sabra, and it's fruiting. These can take a really long time to fruit. Like I have one over here on the other side, and they're also a little bit particular up against the house. Maybe not as happy as that other one, but this one is definitely not fruited yet, and I know for a fact that this one is grafted. When I bought it, it was a grafted tree. This one, it's really hard to tell. There's no real signs of a larger rootstock down here at the bottom. That is possible. There is a little bit of a fusion right there. Like I said, though, Trunciflora, so super exciting. This is a yellow Grumichama. I don't think I have these available yet. It's another one I got from a collector. Tastes almost the same as the other one, but it is a yellow fruit compared to that purple color. So, you guys want to see that greenhouse? I'm gonna shut up. Welcome to my greenhouse. So, this place is going off, guys. Constantly something new in here to see. Constantly some new growth. Big old variegated monsteras really doing their thing, and everywhere you look back in here, you guys are going to see fruit. You guys are going to see fruit. Every one of these trees are covered. I swear they do not stop all year long. Flowering, fruiting, flowering, fruiting. When you have this many trees, there always seems to be one in fruit. There always seems to be one in flower. You can see that one's doing its thing. Big old beauty yellow. Oh, I forgot to show you that yellow by the house. I will swing back there and wrap up the video on that one for you guys. Big old grafted jackfruits. And it's kind of getting a little overloaded in here. Used to be just that back row of the reds. Then we end up with the second row. Then we end up with the third row. So we're going to be doing something in here and eventually kind of expanding. This is that butterscotch. No, I'm sorry. This isn't the butterscotch. That's the Murano. I believe the butterscotch is right here. So a couple big sapodillas. Another big, beautiful sapodilla. Hope for some flower and fruits this year. Big old white. Got a Grumichama over here flowering. Guys, the flowers on this, I think they smell like bacon. It smells like somebody's cooking breakfast over here in the corner. Patangatuba, I see you over there flowering. Doing its thing. What else we got doing its thing in here? All the reds in the back kind of starting to flower. And there's another pissed off Jaboticaba. Gonna do a soil swap. That usually seems to turn them around really quick. If not, we'll do a chelated iron drench. That will also help to bring them back. But guys, no lack of jabos. No lack of fruit. Let's see if we can get in here and show you another one doing its thing. Found a little hole. Whoa. So no lack of fruit on these guys, and I really like to get them when they're starting to hang down like that. Like I said, these ones have a much thinner skin on them, a little bit of a redder tint. They're not as dark as the other variety, but everywhere I look I see jabos. So it is always exciting to come in here. There's always something to see, eat, taste, and check out. So if you guys want to see that yellow jabo on my house, we got to wrap this up. This guy right here is what we call thrives on neglect. North side of the house, no light, no irrigation, planted in rock. I don't even have organic matter underneath there. There's no mulch. Just put it in the granite rock that was here when we moved in. I planted this as a little 3-gallon tree. This thing is completely defoliated and come back. Right now it has little fruits all over it. Just doing its thing. Beautiful velvet growth. Took 23 degrees this year. There's some more little fruits, some flowers, some fruits, and so I am 6'1". This thing is towering over my head. It's probably like a 10-foot yellow Jaboticaba, thriving on neglect, no irrigation, no mulch in the zone 1. So I didn't expect this one to do so well, and it is still kicking butt. All right, guys, so little nursery update video, little greenhouse update, spring farm tour here coming soon. I have a market garden update coming for you here really soon. Got at least 2 updates coming on the new property. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. You gotta pound that bell to stay notified. Most importantly, it's 2023. Get out there and plant a garden. Pound dirt.